Welcome to Surviving the Side Hustle podcast, the place where expert-based business owners learn how to build momentum, avoid burnout, and create sustainable success on their own terms. I'm your host, Rob Tracz, strength and conditioning specialist turned founder and CEO of Prime Performance Coaching, the personal performance strategy firm for high-achieving business owners and operators. I partner with driven entrepreneurs to implement the Prime Performance process, an awareness-based operating system that's helped me and countless solopreneurs and small business owners evolve from just being high performers on the edge of burnout to prime performers building sustainable success. The impact of Prime Performance process has led me here, where I'll show you how to get unstuck and design your own Prime Performance life without sacrificing your health, relationships, or sanity. So whether you're hustling after hours or scaling your passion project, today and here you're going to get real stories, science-backed strategies, and practical frameworks to help you excel every step of your journey. It's time. Let's get intentional, build momentum, and become prime performers together. We'll get started just after this message. If you're an ambitious business owner or side hustler who's ready for a breakthrough, tired of spinning your wheels, looking to slide past burnout and build real momentum, I'd love to invite you to book a free Prime Performance strategy session with me or one of our strategists. This is your chance to get personalized insight on what's been holding you back and get a clear path to move forward. No fluff, just actionable strategy. So if you're interested, visit survivingthesidehustle.com/free call to request your spot now. Again, that's survivingthesidehustle.com/free call. Looking forward to helping you become a prime performer. All right, welcome back to another Friday recap episode of Surviving the Side Hustle. And I want to jump right in and ask you something honest. Have you ever worked so hard to build the life that you wanted, only to wake up one day and realize you accidentally recreated the life that you're just trying to escape? You quit the job, you start the business, and then you chase your dream, and suddenly you're working more hours, you're even more stressed, and you're missing the things that you started the business for in the first place. Well, that's the exact tension that we unpacked in this week's episode with Megan Higney. And I think this conversation hits right at the heart of what surviving side hustle is really about. Because building something meaningful isn't just about success, it's about alignment more times than not. And Megan's journey really started in private equity. She wasn't building companies, she was investing in founders. She sat in the boardrooms, analyzed financials, helped guide strategy. From the outside looking in, it was a great career. Good money, stability, prestige, but something kept pulling at her. She noticed something different about the founders that she was working with. They had a certain energy, a particular spark, excitement around them. And even when they were talking about the problems, the stress, or the obstacles, there was still this kind of electricity around them. They were building something that came from their heart, and she realized something important. The people funding the dream and the people living the dream operate on completely different frequencies. And that realization planted a seed. Eventually, Megan crossed the table. She moved from investor to operator. Instead of analyzing businesses, she started running one. She became president of another founder's company and suddenly experienced the reality of building something from the inside. And this taught her something that spreadsheets never could. Investors see numbers while operators feel consequences. Investors analyze risk while operators live risk. When you're the one who's responsible for payroll, product, customers, and growth, everything becomes real, tangible. But starting her own brand didn't happen overnight. Megan described something that many aspiring founders experience. It wasn't about capability. It was about permission. Permission to believe. Saying, I can actually do this. Sometimes the biggest barrier to entrepreneurship isn't skill, it's identity. You spend years building expertise helping other people succeed, but the moment you consider doing it yourself, doubt creeps in. Who am I to really do this? Am I ready? Is this the right time? Sort of questions. That internal hesitation is incredibly common, and overcoming it requires something deeper than strategy. It requires self-trust. Eventually, Megan made the decision. She launched her own brand. But here's where the story becomes real. She didn't jump immediately. She did what many founders do. She straddled both worlds. She still was doing consulting work, still earning income, while slowly building the new business. This phase is something almost every entrepreneur goes through. Because entrepreneurship isn't just a financial risk, it's a psychological one too. At some point, you have to decide, am I all in or am I just testing the waters? Eventually, she went all in. And going all in came with some serious consequences. She left the Bay Area, left a high salary, relocated her family to Mexico, not for lifestyle reasons, but to lower her cost of living so she could build her company. That's a level of commitment that most people don't talk about. Entrepreneurship often requires reshaping your life to support the vision. Sometimes that means moving cities or changing routines, letting go of that stability. And in hindsight, she described that decision as one of the greatest gifts. But in the moment, it felt terrifying. One thing that Megan shared that really stood out was that she called or found the founder Twitch. Hey, sorry for the interruption. It's me, Rob, and I hope you're enjoying today's conversation. But I wanted to remind you, if you're a driven entrepreneur or an expert-based business owner who wants to get unstuck, create sustainable momentum, and really start moving forward, I've got a free resource just for you. You can download my 5 keys to clarity and momentum. It's a PDF guide. It's a quick read, and it'll help you cut through the noise, clarify your next steps, and start building the systems that you need for sustainable success. So if you're new here, or if you haven't grabbed it yet, this is the first step to applying these principles in your own journey. So head over to survivingthesidehustle.com/5 keys and download your free copy today. Again, that's survivingthesidehustle.com/5 keys. And working with founders for years, she noticed certain behaviors that once annoyed her. They seemed obsessive, intense, fixated on details. But once she became a founder herself, she understood. When you create something from nothing, your relationship with it is really different. It's personal, emotional, and it's not just a job, it's a piece of you. And that changes how you see, think, and lead. And here's where the story gets really interesting, because after her dream company launched, she unknowingly recreated the exact lifestyle that she was trying to escape in the first place. She built an office, filled it with whiteboards, started working from morning until night, missed family events, time with her kids. One day she realized something shocking. She had turned her dream into the same stressful grind that she had before. This happens to more founders than we'd like to admit. You start a business for freedom, but you bring your old habits with you. The identity of the hard worker, the belief that worth equals productivity that you get trapped in, and the need to prove yourself. So instead of designing your life around your business, you design your business around your old identity. And you're stuck with just the only result of burnout. One of the most powerful insights that Megan shared in the full interview episode was the idea of many of us subconsciously believe that hard work equals worth. And if we're not working nonstop, we must be valuable. But she began to challenge that belief. What if success doesn't come from pushing harder, but really from creating more ease and joy in the way that we work? What if the energy you bring into your work matters more than the hours you spend doing it? This shift actually reflects the philosophy behind her company. Her brand is called Message. The idea is simple but powerful. And it's what we tell ourselves internally matters just as much as what we project externally. And the internal message drives that external outcome. And when entrepreneurs change their internal narrative, their work changes too. So Megan, she started redesigning her life work. Or her work life, I should say. She works from her bed sometimes, she wears comfortable clothes, builds her day around her family, and protects the time with her kids. Now, some people think that might sound trivial, but it represents something much deeper. It represents intentional design. She's choosing how entrepreneurship fits into her life instead of letting entrepreneurship control it. And another thing that was pretty interesting from our conversation was that whole component of explaining the entrepreneurial leap to others. So like when you have a vision, it makes sense to you, but explaining it to friends, family, and loved ones can be difficult because from the outside, entrepreneurship often looks irrational, leaving stability, moving countries, taking financial risks. But the vision often requires a little bit of delusion. You have to believe in something before the evidence exists. And this conversation connects perfectly with the Prime Performance Framework, all about resilience, clarity, and intentionality. Because entrepreneurship isn't just about building a business, it's about building a life that works for you. So here's a reflection I want to leave you guys with today. If you're building something right now, I want you to ask yourself, did I start this business to build freedom, or did I accidentally recreate another cage? And if the answer isn't what you hoped, that's okay. Because the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is that you get to redesign it and you get to choose again. So building a side hustle, building a company, building a life, it's all the same journey. And the goal isn't just success, it's alignment. So reflect honestly, choose intentionally, and keep on surviving the side hustle. Till next time, guys, peace, peace, peace. That's all for today's episode of Surviving the Side Hustle. If you found value here, please don't forget to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening from. And please create a shared success by helping us share this episode with someone who you think would benefit from today's conversation. And finally, don't forget to connect with us at survivingthesidehustle.com and give us a follow on socials so that we can take part in following along in your entrepreneurial journey. Until next time, remember, success doesn't require a complete sacrifice, just strategy, momentum, and the right support.